Hello everyone. In this video, let us learn about transposon mutagenesis. Before moving on to mutagenesis, let us know what is transposons first. Barbara McClintock discovered these transposons first. She said that she also observed that Indian maize had kernels with different colors. Now she concluded that these different colored kernels were seen because of transposons. Now what happened actually? According to her, there were light colored kernels and dark colored kernels. The light colored kernels were caused because a segment of DNA jumped into the genes which will code for the pigmented kernels. There were genes which were coding for the pigmentation of the kernels. So there were certain segments of DNA which jumped. This segment of DNA got inserted in between the pigmented genes, pigmentation causing genes of the kernels, because of which the pigmented genes became inactive. The inactivation of this pigmented genes led to the light colored kernel. So there were genes which was responsible for pigmentation. Now when these genes were interrupted, in between these genes some other DNA came and got inserted, because of which the pigmented kernels got inactivated. So these genes which got inserted between the pigmented kernels, they are called as mobile genes, because they have moved from one location of DNA to the pigmented causing genes location. Therefore, they have moved from one location of DNA to another location of DNA. So they are called as mobile genes. These mobile genes were later called as transposons or transposable elements. So what is actually this transposable elements or transposons? They are short sequences of DNA molecule which are usually about 700 to 20,000 base pairs. So they are about 700 to 20,000 base pairs. Now these short sequences of DNA can transfer from one region of the genome to another region of genome. This can happen in both prokaryotes and eukaryotes. From one region they get transferred to another region. So they are actually the short sequences of DNA which can transfer from one region of genome to another region of genome. They are called as transposable elements or transposons. They are usually found in phage, bacteria, fungi, plants, viruses and insects. Since they can jump from one region of genome to another region of genome, they are called as jumping genes. And this process where they move from one region to another region is called as transposition. There are certain general characteristics of transposons, so let us look into it. In case of bacteria, the transfer of DNA from one region to another region can occur from plasmid to chromosome. From the plasmid DNA, a short sequence on the plasmid DNA can get jumped or transferred from plasmid DNA to the chromosome DNA, or it can happen from a chromosome DNA to a plasmid DNA. Say in case if the bacteria is carrying two plasmids, then it can get transferred from one plasmid to another plasmid. Also, it can get transferred from chromosome to chromosome in bacteria itself. In eukaryotes, since eukaryotes do not have plasmids, chromosomes get transferred from one region of the DNA gets transferred, the short sequences of DNA gets transferred from one region of chromosome to another region of chromosome. If these transposons, the short segments of DNA is inserted within the gene, in between the gene, in a gene, if it is inserted, then the gene will be interrupted. Therefore, they cause to the disruption of the functioning of the gene. They lead to the disruption of the functioning of the genes. The gene will become inactive if the transposons, the short segment of DNA, is inserted within the gene. If it is inserted within the gene, then the gene will become inactive and their functioning will not happen properly. The protein which will be coded by that gene will not be produced. If the transposons are inserted within the regulatory sequences, then they will cause change in gene expression. The gene expression will be changed if they are inserted within the regulatory sequences. If they are inserted within the gene, they lead to the disruption of the functioning of that gene. Now, these transposons are present in all life forms. As I told, it is present in phage, it is present in bacteria, it is present in fungi, plants, viruses and insects. So, they are present in all life forms. They are the main components of moderately repetitive DNA sequences. Usually, transposons are made up of moderately repetitive DNA sequences. They are the main components of moderately repetitive DNA sequences. In human beings, more than 50% of the genome is composed of transposable elements. In human genome, 50% of the gene is usually composed of transposable elements. So let us look into the structure of transposons. Transposons are the stretches of DNA. We saw that they are the short sequences of DNA. Now they have repetitive DNA segments at their ends. You can see here the segments are repetitive, GTA, GT. Here you can see GTA, GT. So they are repetitive sequences. So at their ends, if this is a transposable element, the ends are made up of repetitive DNA segments. Now the transposon also has a central sequence. They consist of a central sequence which carry a gene known as transposase gene. Now this transposase is an enzyme which is responsible for the transposition. They help in cutting and joining. We will see how it is in my further slides. So they carry a gene for transposase enzyme and also some additional genes they carry. As I told you, they have short repetitive DNA segments at their ends, which can be repetitive or inverted repeats. See, this is a inverted repeat where this end GTA GT is inverted at this end GTA GT, like this. So they are inverted repeat sequences. So they are called as terminal repeats. They are present. Transposons has terminal repeats at their ends, and they have a central region or a central sequence which will carry genes for transposase enzyme, and some additional genes will be present. That is the structure of transposons. Now this transposon will be moving from one region of DNA to another region. So this is on another DNA. So it has to move to the another location on the DNA. So that DNA is called as target DNA, where the transposon will be attached. So this target sequence will usually have sequences, repetitive sequences like this. During transposition, if the transposon has to be inserted, then this region gets duplicated. They get doubled, and these will be moved apart. These duplicated regions will be moved apart. In between the duplicated region, the transposon will be attached. So this is the structure of transposon and the target sequence. So let us see the classification of transposons. Then we will move on to the mechanism of transposons. So they are classified into two distinct types. The first type is called as class 2 transposons. Class 1 transposon, and the next type is called as class 2 transposons. So let us see the function of class 1 transposon and class 2 transposon. So class 1 transposon. So this is a transposon which involves an mRNA intermediate. They are also called as retrotransposons. Class 1 transposons are also called as retrotransposons. Now here the transposition will happen in two stages. The first stage, mRNA intermediate is formed, and then it is being transposition will occur. So what happens here is, in class 1 transposon, the class 1 transposon will first get transcribed into an mRNA. So this forms an mRNA intermediate. So transposon, class 1 transposon will first undergo transcription by an enzyme RNA polymerase, thus producing an mRNA intermediate. So this mRNA intermediate, when it is produced, it undergoes reverse transcription by an enzyme reverse transcriptase to produce a DNA intermediate. So now the same transposon is now copied into a DNA intermediate. Now this DNA intermediate is inserted in between the target sequence. So this is the target sequence. So at the target site it is been inserted. So here what is happening, the transposon was first copied onto mRNA and then it was converted to DNA, and that DNA is actually integrated in between the target site. This is a copy paste mechanism where the DNA has got copied into another DNA, the same, it is copied DNA intermediate, and that DNA intermediate is integrated in between the target site. So this is class 1 transposon which undergoes a copy paste mechanism. So this is class 1 transposon which undergoes a copy paste mechanism where an RNA intermediate is involved. In this, DNA is not excised, it is not removed and it is not removed and put into another location on the DNA on the target site. Whereas class 2 transposon, where the DNA will be removed, the targets, the short sequence, the transposable element will be removed and it will be put into the target site. So this is the mechanism where class 2 transposon will carry an enzyme known as transposase. So here the enzyme involved is transposase. So this transposase will be produced. The transposase will cut the DNA at the excision site, the transposable element at the excision site. So they will remove the transposable element. Who is going to remove the transposable element? Transposase enzymes will remove the transposable element and they integrate the transposable element into the target site. Here the mechanism is going to be a cut paste mechanism where a transposase enzyme is involved. So let us move on to the mechanism of transposition. So how does transposition occur? Say this is a DNA carrying the transposable element. They have this green region that you see here. They are representing the inverted repeats. So to this inverted repeats, transposase enzyme will bind. Binding of transposase enzyme will cleave the DNA at its excision site, will cleave the transposable element at its excision site. So these transposable elements will have a flanking DNA. So they are going to cleave at the excision site. Once they cleave at the excision site, they also cleave the target DNA at the inverted repeat. So this target DNA, as I told you initially, they undergo duplication. So after duplication, it is cleaved. The target DNA is cleaved in the center and the transposable element is inserted into the target DNA. It is inserted into the target DNA. So there is the transposable element getting transferred into the target DNA. Later the flanking ends, there are ends which are created. If you can see at 5' and 3' end and 5' 3' end, there is no nucleotide base pairs. So this immediately after it is been created, replication fork is formed. Immediately a replication fork will be formed. This replication fork will bring the DNA polymerase. Once the DNA polymerase comes here, they will synthesize they will add the nucleotides and they will fill the gaps. This is how the transposition will occur, where first the transposase enzyme is going to cleave at the excision site near the flanking site. Who is doing this? Transposase enzymes. The transposase enzyme, once it cleaves, it also cleaves the target DNA after the inverted repeats are being duplicated. In the middle it is going to cleave. Later the transposable element is inserted into the target DNA and the gaps that are formed is filled by DNA polymerase enzyme by forming a replication fork. This is the mechanism of transposition. Now transposition can occur by two methods. These two methods are called as replicative mechanism and non-replicative mechanism or conservative mechanism. So first we will see replicative transposition or replicative mechanism. Transposable elements here are duplicated and other duplicated set becomes inserted in at the target sequence. So this is a copy paste mechanism which is carried out by class 1 transposon. Here it is a cut paste mechanism where transposable element is excised. It is removed from one location of chromosome and it is inserted into target DNA. So this is a cut paste mechanism which is carried out by class 2 transposable elements. So this mechanism is called as conservative mechanism, where copy paste cut paste will occur, and where copy paste will occur is called as replicative transposition. Let us move on to mutagenesis and transposon mutagenesis. What is mutagenesis? The process in which the genetic information is exchanged or changed, which will cause mutation. The process causing mutation is called as mutagenesis. This I have also explained previously in my videos. So mutagenesis is a process where mutations are caused. Now transposon mutagenesis means transposons are involved for the causing of mutations. So transposon mutagenesis is a biological process that allows genes to be transferred. So here we are going to use transposon genes to transfer to a host organism. So genes are transferred from one organism to another organism, host organism. So transposons are the genes which are transferred into the host organism's chromosome. It can be transferred to chromosome, it can be transferred to plasmid. So transposon genes is a biological process where these genes are transferred to a host. So transposons are transferred to the host chromosome or the plasmid, which will cause mutations. Transposon mutagenesis has certain criteria. Why we have to go for choosing transposon mutagenesis is because transposon mutagenesis is very effective than chemical mutagenesis because it has higher mutation frequency. The frequency of mutation is very high and it has the lower chances of killing the organism. The host organism will be usually killed during mutation. So the chances of killing the host organism is very less in transposon mutagenesis. These transposons will usually carry a selectable markers like antibiotic resistance. So they will carry a selectable marker. And also we can recover genes after mutagenesis also. We can get back the genes even after mutagenesis. That is why we should go for transposon mutagenesis. Now what happens in mutagenesis? Say for example, there is a cluster of genes like gene 1, gene 2, gene 3 and gene 4, which is having a common promoter and a regulator. Now this set of genes, we call it as operons usually. So there are a cluster of genes, gene 1, gene 2, gene 3, gene 4, which are having a common promoter and a regulator. Now these gene, if we have to silence, then we go for transposon mutagenesis. So let us see how do we go for transposon mutagenesis. So see, this is a gene A which is having a transposon. So this is a transposon. So what we do is the transposon is taken from here and it is inserted between the gene 2. So you can see the gene 2 within the gene 2. Within gene 2, transposon is inserted, which is disrupting this gene 2. Therefore, from gene 2, the gene silencing will occur. The mutation will occur where gene 2, 3, 4 will not be transcribed. Like this, we are going to silence the genes. Gene 2, gene 3, gene 4 are all silenced. So, once the gene A transposon is inserted in between gene 2, the gene silencing will occur, therefore causing the mutation in the organism. Therefore, the protein that is responsible for produced by gene 2, gene 3, gene 4 will not be produced and the mutation will be occurred, which will be seen as a phenotypic appearance in the organism. So, insertion of transposon within a gene will lead to mutation. That is the first thing. Then the transposon with antibiotic resistant marker can be used for the selection process. As I told you previously, transposons will carry selectable markers like antibiotic resistance. They are used in selection process, during the selection of the organism which has undergone the transformation that can be selected. The two widely used transposons are TN5 transposon for this silencing of the gene for the mutation, which is usually TN5 will usually carry antibiotic resistant, that is neomycin resistant and kanamycin resistant. TN10 carries tetracycline antibiotic resistance. So transposon mutagenesis can also is done in plasmids also. A suicide vector containing the transposon is usually introduced in, if we have to do transposon mutagenesis in plasmids, then we go for a suicide vector. So a suicide vector containing transposon is introduced into cells which are having plasmids. So suicide vector is introduced into the cell which are having plasmid. Now you might be having a confusion. Now what is a suicide vector? A suicide vector in simple word is a vector which is going to kill the host only if the suicide vector does not have an inserted sequence. If it does not have an inserted sequence, if the host does not have an inserted sequence will be your transposons. So if it does not have an inserted sequence, if the host does not have an inserted sequence, then the suicide vector is going to kill the host. How does that help us? We will be seeing in the further slide. So say for example here transposon TN5 is having a kanamycin resistant gene. So this transposon is excised by an enzyme that is transposase. These red regions that you are seeing, the red colored circles that you are seeing is a transposase enzyme. They bind to the flanking DNA at the ends of the transposon and they excise the transposon DNA. Once they excise the transposon DNA, they also cleave the target DNA once the target DNA is duplicated. The sequence, the repeated sequence in the target DNA is duplicated. So they are going to, transposase will insert the transposon, TN5 transposon DNA onto the target DNA. So here the target DNA is plasmid. So once they insert it, the plasmid DNA has now taken up the transposon and the gaps will be filled by the DNA polymerase, as I told you. This is how plasmids will take up the transposon DNA. Now how do we select? Now we know that TN5 has a kanamycin resistant genes. So the cells now are grown on a media containing kanamycin. So what happens when the cells are grown on a media containing kanamycin? If the cells have taken up the transposon, then they are resistant to kanamycin. So the cells that has taken up the transposon will grow on kanamycin, whereas cells that has not taken up the transposon will die on kanamycin because kanamycin is going to kill the cells. So kanamycin resistant cells are the cells which has taken up transposon, because transposon actually has the kanamycin resistance which will help in the selection process. This is how transposon mutagenesis is usually carried out. If you have any doubts about transposon mutagenesis, you can call and ask me, or you can message me on WhatsApp. Thank you, class.